Welcome back everyone. Thanks for joining me in today's video. Today we'll be making this nice looking form where once you click on the input field you have this nice animation happening there, and we'll build this video on top of yesterday's video where we kind of created this button and added this functionality of very nice looking animation. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started with the HTML part of the story. First, we'll add two input fields using input tags. So let's just do that. Input. First one will of the type text. We'll give it a placeholder of user ID, and we'll create a custom attribute called input ID, and we'll give it a value of input 1. Let's duplicate this input field. We'll give input ID of input 2. Placeholder will be password, as this field will be taking up the password value, and type of the input field will also be password. Okay, let's wrap everything around in a container. So first we'll just indent it, and then let's create a div tag, and we'll close the div tag. Let's give it a class of container. So we have our container which wraps around our input fields. Let's create two labels. We'll give them a custom attribute called label ID, and we'll give it a value same as that of the input field which it is related to. So the first label is related to first input field, so we'll give them same ID. Label ID will be input 1, and input ID for the input field will be input 1. Let's give this one value of user ID. We need to give it the same text as that of our input field's placeholder, because this label will be the one which will kind of appear from the background of the input field, and it will go up and create the animation effect. So that's why the label input text needs to be same as that of the input field. Let's wrap this label and input inside a div tag, so we'll know which one is which label is related to which input field. So let's create a div tag for that, and we'll give a class of, let's say, input box. Let's close this div tag here. We'll do the same for other input field. We have not created a label. Let's do that. Control C, Control V, and the input the text inside the label will be password, same as the placeholder for the input text it is related, input field it is related to, and both needs to be wrapped around in a div tag. Okay, this moves, this moves, this moves, and there is a div tag here. And the input field, the label ID needs to be input 2, same as that of the input ID of input field. So that kind of wraps up the HTML part of the story. Let's go ahead to style.css for styling. Okay, so let's start with styling of our container. So we'll just do dot container. We want to make it a flex element. To do that, we'll just do display flex, align item center, justify content center. That's it. Okay, but we don't want these elements to be placed side by side. We want them to be on top of each other. To do that, we'll just set the flex direction to column. There we go. Let's give our container a bit of border. So we'll do that using border. Let's give it 3 pixel solid, and we'll give it a color of BBB. There we go. Let's give it a bit of radius also. So we'll do that using border radius of 5 pixel. Let's put some padding, 30 pixel. There we go. Next thing, let's style our input elements. To do that, we'll just use input as the CSS selector, and let's give them height and width same as that of the button. We'll just do Control C, Control V, There we have it. Let's also give border radius and border same as that of the container to the buttons also. Control C, Control V. There we go. Next thing, we don't want our labels to be shown on the left. We want them to be placed on top of the input fields, and initially we also want them to be under the input fields. We don't want them to be shown at first, and later on we want them to be shown on top of the input fields, and then we want them to go up. We want them to slide up and give us a nice animation that we saw at the beginning of the video. So let's position the labels absolutely. So to do that, let's select our labels using CSS selector of input box space label. So what that represents is all the labels inside the input box. So that will apply here also and here also. So let's do that. Input, okay, it's a class, so we'll have to put dot input box label. Let's give them position absolute. Make the top offset of 10 pixel and left offset of 10 pixel. But see, they moved to top of the web page, but we don't want them here. We want them inside the input fields. Now the reason this happened is because we haven't defined any element with respect to whom this offset can be applied, so it ended up looking up to the body. Now instead of that, we'll position our input box as relative. Let's just do that. Input box, we'll make it position relative, and on doing that, all the offsets will be calculated with respect to the input box, which is the parent of the label. So now it will always be contained with respect to the input box. Next thing, let's also move our placeholder of the input field a little bit to the right. So for the input, we will just do padding off. We don't want any top padding, we'll just do 10 pixel for the left and right. So now our labels and the placeholders are kind of matching. Next thing, let's push our input labels to behind the input fields. To do that, we'll just use z index of -1. Okay. Next thing, let's put little bit of spacing between our input fields and the button so that the form looks a bit better. To do that, we'll just put margin in the input box, margin of let's say 15 pixel top, and we don't want anything on left and right. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for the button. For the button, we'll just do margin of 15 pixel and 0 pixel. Should be fine. Okay. Next thing what we want is when we click on the input field, we want the placeholder to disappear because it doesn't look good, you know, when you click on the input field and nothing changes unless you enter anything. But yeah, just putting clicking on the input field, and if the placeholder disappears, it looks good. And to do that, we have a very simple trick. We'll just do that in CSS using input focus placeholder, and we just have to set color to transparent. On doing that, now if I click on the input field, the placeholder disappears. Right? Okay, so that's all I think we need from CSS. We'll have to create one more class that we'll do later on once we write a little bit of JavaScript. So let's go to main.js and implement the functionality of the animation that we have for the input fields. First thing that we'll do in JavaScript is to obtain both the input elements, and the way we'll do it is using const input elements equal to document.querySelectorAll, and then we'll use CSS selector input. Let's log this variable to console to see if we have both the elements, input elements. Okay, then we go to the browser, right click, inspect elements, and in the console, yeah, we have both the elements. Next thing that we want to do on this input elements is we want to add event listeners. But then because we have two elements and this input element is an array, we will have to iterate over those elements. So the way we'll do it is using for each loop. So I'll do input elements dot for each. In the parenthesis, we'll define a variable which will contain individual elements, and for that individual element we want to add event listener. So we'll do input element dot add event listener, and the event listener will be the type focus, comma, and whenever the event happens, on that event we want to do certain action. So the first thing that we will do is we'll obtain the input element on which the event has occurred, and the way we will do it is we'll leverage the custom attribute that we had defined initially in the index.html. So let's obtain that particular custom attribute, that is input ID. So we'll let's log to the console the ID, but before that let's just log the event target. Let's see what we get here. Now if we click on this one, we get input on which the event had occurred. Correct? Now here we see first when I clicked on this one, we have input 1. Here we have input 2. And if you remember, same IDs were given to the label also. Okay, now we need to extract this particular value, like is it input 2, input 1, and that is in the attribute of the particular target event, and inside that attribute we have this attribute called input ID. So inside for the target we need attributes, which is this particular name here, kind of key, and then we need this key, that is input underscore ID dot input underscore ID and its value. Let's see what we get now. See, if I click on the first input element, then we get input 1. If I click on the second, we get input 2, input 1, input 2, right? Now, okay, so we got this value, but we want the label corresponding to this value, and the way we'll get this is like this. So we'll create a variable, we'll create a constant variable, const label element equal to, let's have a space here so that we get IntelliSense, document dot query selector, and here we'll use template strings which says label with the attribute of label ID equal to double quotes. We'll use variable here which needs to be of this value, Control X, Control V, and then we'll close the double quotes, square brackets, then the template strings and then there is a closing bracket, semicolon. Let's log this label element to see if we got the correct label. Okay, let's click on this and we got the element, label element corresponding to the input 1. Let's click here and we got the second. So it seems to work. Now for the label, first thing that we'll do is we'll bring it to the top, like in front of the input element. To do that, we'll just do label element dot style dot z index, sorry, no need of parentheses, equal to 1. Let's see what happens now. If I click here, see, we got the label. If I click here, we have the password label. Okay, so now we got the label. Next thing that we need to do is we need to move it up. And the way we'll do it is label element dot style dot transform equal to translate. We need to put it in string. We can again use template string here. So we'll just say translate y, capital Y, and we'll just say 20 pixel. sorry, negative 20 pixel, because we want to move it up. Let's see what happens now. Okay, we forgot S here. Transform. See, now when I click on the input field, label appears, but it is, and then it's behaving as we want. Like it's coming on top of this upper part of the input element. But we want this action to happen smoothly. We don't want it to just appear from anywhere, and we just don't get any effect. To do that, we'll have to add transition, and the way we'll do it is label element dot style dot transition equal to, we'll do it on all the transitions, and we'll just do 0.5 seconds. Now let's see. There we go. Now it looks very good. But one thing that we are missing is, let's put a background color to this label. That will make it look even much better. So this is our label. Let's add background color of FFF white, and then let's add some padding. We don't want any top and bottom padding, but we want left and right padding, so 5 pixel. All right, see, now this looks much better. And then user can enter the user ID and password. Okay, but one thing that you will notice here is, when we click on other field, this doesn't go away. We want them to go away, right? And in order to do that, we'll just have to copy paste this, and instead of making this event as focus, we need to make it blur. And the transition, now we want it to happen abruptly. We want to again push them back, and then this translate will restore it to the original position. Let's see what happens now. Okay, we have user ID. If I click outside, it goes away. Click on password, you enter the password, you click outside, it goes away. So that looks very good, right? Let me know, what do you think? What do you think? We enter a user ID, let's say DP designs. In the password, we enter something, and then you click login, and then you have this nice animation. So guys, that's all that I have for this video. It's a long video. I apologize for that. And yeah, let me know what improvements you think can we make in this project, and what more optimization can we do here. You know, what do you think can we do differently to make it much better? Here I mean, we used multiple elements, input, label, and we kind of jumped all over the place, and in terms of getting a using a custom ID to stitch together label element and input element. But is there a better way? Let me know in the comments, so that we all learn from each other and we grow together. So that's all I have for today's video. I'll see you in tomorrow's. Thanks for watching.